That's one of the best podcasts ever. Ever. Top 5 dead or alive.
Welcome to Pod Caviar. I'm your host, Tony, and I'm coming at you live from the Ministry of Silly Talks, and Graham is in the building.
You won't believe
this?
I don't believe
You
it.
can believe this?
I don't believe it. I don't believe it's happening.
It's wild, right? How's that
happening?
Yeah, without warning, without, I knew we was coming. I knew I was coming back.
Yep.
And I hit Graham up and I was like, I'm back, baby.
Yep, I'm
and
back.
And then that's it.
We're
That's
back
all we had to do.
Yeah.
We linked up and now we're back at it. And we're going to come at you with a great theory. We're going to have a nice long discussion about a theory that I recently came up with that ties into the universe and a lot of the things that we love to talk about on this podcast. So sit back, relax, and I'm going to let Graham plug everything from the 1 Gram Army. And, you listen, you got to subscribe or we're coming after you.
I just don't know how many more times we can spell it out to
it's
people.
Like, we're tired of being a broken record.
Yeah.
Of course, in 2020, we let you catch your breath. Basically,
you got a reprieve.
Yeah,
you got a reprieve.
Yeah.
It was our stimulus to you. It was a safety stimulus. For the unsubscribed.
Yeah, and that was the most valuable stimulus ever. But let me tell you something. It expired. It's over.
It's done.
Okay,
we're vaccinated. The vans are. I got the family of rats out of all the vans.
Yeah,
we're back out here.
Oh yeah,
we're back out here, and we're not playing around.
So yeah. What else you got?
I'm gonna hit a little live spooky music here and see if this livens things up a bit.
Oh yeah.
It actually seems like it's slowing it down, but it's nice.
Yeah, it's mellow, right?
So if you listen to this podcast, one thing you're gonna do is if you hear something one of us does, you're gonna hear about the other guy.
Right.
So if this is your first time listening, or you've been living under a rock, whatever you got going on, you can just go to Google and type in 1 Gram Army. It's all there. The podcast, the YouTube page, the Twitch channel. It's all 1 Gram Army. And you should be going there and subscribing post haste.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of time left for you people.
Right. We got a list. Santa has a list, but we got a completely different fucking list. And let me tell you, you don't want to be on our list.
Yeah, all the unsubscribed they would love a lump of coal.
Yeah.
They would be ecstatic about a lump of coal.
Yeah. Man, listen. This is a great episode.
I can't wait.
The other night we were on the highway, right? Riding. And all of a sudden...
Not me and you. I just...
No. Yeah. Me, Nicole, kids, whatever. Coming back from Legoland in Florida. Shout out to Legoland. It was dope.
Probably a better call than Disneyland. When you said that, I was like, I bet that was way more cool.
Hell yeah. Like the next day I saw a report that was like, it's in a COVID crisis. And I was like, good. We dodged that bullet.
Yeah, doesn't sound very surprising.
But yeah, we saw this fucking car. It was pitch black. We saw all of a sudden sparks. Boom. Fucking van veered off in the road. I don't know what the fuck it was. It was like a blown tire, but then the brake rotor came off and everything.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a close call, right? And I drove back. I got back. We got everybody settled down. Nobody was hurt. It was just one of those freak accidents. But I was laying in a bed.
Just a scare.
Yeah. I was laying in a bed and I was like, if the universe has many different dimensions or different realities, the multiverse basically.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking that in an effort to be more efficient each multiverse, each version of ourselves should have the same trigger event. You know?
Like the point at which it splits.
Right. Exactly.
Like into different
Exactly.
realities.
Yeah. Yeah. So the van was such a random event because that's not something that you see every day.
It was a big break from like normalcy.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. And I was like, that has to be some sort of trigger event. And then I started thinking, well, if there's a multiverse and there's different versions, that trigger event sparks a different, various different paths of different, more multiverses and
Right.
different realities. But I was like, the universe has to have the same trigger event no matter what reality you're in.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, right.
So, well, because theoretically you would have to have that trigger event or there's
Yeah.
no universe.
Exactly.
Like, can a reality of our universe exist in which the universe doesn't exist?
Right.
And what
Right.
is that a reality?
See?
That
yeah.
Actually, listen, I'm not a doctor. I don't want anybody getting that idea.
Right.
But actually, you're making a lot of sense to me right now.
Yes, and then I'm glad that happened at that particular moment because we're here and we're talking about it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So
Yeah.
there's in a multiverse that same trigger, and I was like, well, what's the next level up from that? Why would the universe use the same trigger in every multiverse? And I was like, well, multiverse is a theory.
Right.
I cannot see another version of myself.
Right.
None of us can, right? So if it's not proven and it's a theory, then we can have the same trigger because we'll never prove that it's not the same. It's always just a theory. So the universe wouldn't have to worry about that because
Right.
in any given moment, each version of ourselves will always have a theory that a multiverse exists without actually knowing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, see, I have what you're talking about, though, is something I've pondered on
Yeah.
in kind of my everyday life. Like, I have like a near miss or something crazy happens, or I think back about something that happened, was like, wow, if I wouldn't have left 2 seconds later, some crazy shit would have
Yeah.
happened. Right?
Yeah.
I always think to myself, I'm like, well, there's a version of reality where I had the second thought, or I went with
Yeah.
the third thought, or I went with the fourth thought.
Of course.
Because the crazy thing about that, too, obviously, is if you are dealing in multiverses, infinite realities, in each of those realities, you also have a randomly occurring universe surrounding it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's how fractal it is.
Of
is
course.
everyone is experiencing their own conscious reality, but actually experiencing a universe
Right.
somewhere along the spectrum, experiencing a universe where a decision they made
Yeah.
affected the outcome of the universe.
Right. Right.
That exists
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
If it's that many infinite permutations,
Yeah.
somewhere there
All
exists a
exi-
reality
yeah.
where you made a
Anything that you could think
decision
of, yeah.
that affected the entire universe.
Of course. Yeah. Right.
Yo,
right.
you came back. You were fucking around
Right,
here.
right, bro. And
around
then
here.
I was like, well, okay. Yeah, and I was like, well, okay. So if the universe doesn't have to worry about that, then by my process in a way that I've learned throughout my life, and logically, that is a way that it's making itself more efficient. Why would the universe want to become more efficient? And see, that was, yeah.
That could also, though, be sort of like sorry, and for everybody listening, if I stop talking or
Yeah.
move away from the microphone, is because this music is live. I'm doing it right now. But the idea that fuck, I kind of lost my train of thought there. What would you just say?
Oh, why would the universe want to make
become
itself more efficient? Yeah.
Right. So I think, though, that may just be because all of this, like this whole game of realities, sorry, I have to talk with my hands. All the whole game of all these multiple realities could be just some small process of a larger fourth dimensional situation,
Right.
where these are just the molecular the chemical reactions of some much larger
Right,
fourth dimensional reality
Right.
where none of that, so if you look at it like that, you would look at it like evolution, like your cells in your body, you know, like things become, the
and
mechanics
it's so
of
many
it
levels
become,
of it,
more
because-
efficient just on their own.
Right. So it's like, dude, are we are we just a universe within a cell of a larger being, of a larger mechanism?
I'm
that
dropping
is
this
like-
podcast as an episode of One Grand Army too. Sorry.
Please do,
Yeah, of course. But yeah,
but yeah, it's like, are we just a cell on a piece of armor or a piece of skin?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how deep is this? Because in our history, we have always pushed to become more efficient, because as you can see, we have laptops now. We have all this technology, cell phones. How big were cell phones when
20
they
years
first
ago,
came
if somebody
out?
showed you this thing that you hook up to a computer that looks like a child's keyboard, and you're
Right.
like, oh, you can make all the sounds in the universe with this.
Exactly.
You wouldn't believe them, yeah.
No.
We're always getting closer to it.
Yeah.
Whatever
So-
whatever that singularity may be that we're all
Right.
headed towards.
Yeah. And
There would have to be one in every reality. Yeah. So,
It's crazy.
Speaking
it's
my
so
language.
many. Yeah, it's so many levels to it, and I was just like, well, and I just thought about it. I was like, well, the trigger event. Okay, if they're all the same trigger event, how many different parallels with that? Because, and then I started thinking of the different variations of it. Like, I'm driving. No, is Nicole driving? There's a reality where she drove. There's a reality where maybe we're in the van and then we have the blowout.
Yep.
You know, there's a reality where the part that came off that I think it just hit the tire, but we were good. Maybe one time it shoots up and comes through the window.
Yep.
You know, it's so many different possibilities, bruh.
yeah, or you left the house 5 seconds earlier or 10
Yeah.
minutes later.
And then
even-
wouldn't have to worry
or
about
just like
it,
drove
you
by and
know?
we're like, oh, look at that van on the side
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
There's just so many permutations and available opportunities for reality.
Oh yeah. But I don't know, you know, and it goes back to the simulation theory, which I don't necessarily believe in 100%, but it does go to show that if the universe is naturally becoming more efficient, then that is kind of like it's kind of computer-ish, kind of, you know, simulation-ish, but I don't know for sure.
I mean, all of these things involving the functionality of the universe, like when humans start crunching down the math, a lot of this stuff may just be functions of where the simulation isn't complex enough to where you can see past the curtain. You can only see X distance past the curtain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it can be an infinite universe all you want.
Right.
But the reality is you can only see as far as the furthest light.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the universe is expanding away from us.
Right.
In every direction. And anywhere you're in the universe, it's expanding in an infinite number of directions.
Right.
There's no edge. Right? It's like that way they describe it is like being on the outside of a balloon. You can be like, where's the edge of this?
Right.
But the balloon is ever expanding.
Growing,
But it's because space is curved and you actually exist in that dimension as almost, you know, like a surface, basically.
Yeah.
You know, and there's no edge, and you have like the universe expanding away from you. You can only see the light that hasn't escaped our ability to see. Mm-hmm. That's sort of how they calculate the age of the universe anyway. So like it's 14 billion years old or whatever, because that's where the light is.
See, yeah.
And you get the little background radiation.
I do
and the
remember
gravity
that,
waves, which stick to the math of the Big Bang. But for any universe to exist, that would have had to have happened.
Of course, yeah.
And then
that's a crazy decision, bro. That and it's so many. This is the thing. This is why I like having these conversations and just think about these theories and just walk them down, because I believe in spirituality. I believe in the universe. You know, I believe in all that shit. You know, we talked about religion, and then we talked about how through the final instructions, how crazy and radical religion can get, and then you and I are pretty much on the same level as far as thinking about the universe and how all this stuff ties in. We're Trekkies, you know. We grew up, you know, watching Star Trek and all that. So it's like, and the thing is, the universe naturally becoming more efficient. And I was like, what is the end game here? How close to perfection is humanity gonna get? Is it? I mean, there has to be some sort of weird end game. I think that right now, I know humans are trying to colonize either the moon or Mars, somewhere else that's habitable, and the main goal for that is if we're all stuck on Earth, then our chance of survival is pretty low.
Yeah.
If we start colonizing the moon or Mars, then our chance of survival as humans, it goes up.
I think that increases
Greatly.
the chances of us eventually becoming the aliens from Independence Day.
Yeah, I mean, it could.
Because look at how our species operates.
Yeah.
Like we technologically and evolutionarily, we didn't discover a plant where you can be like, oh, if you break this open and pour it on stuff, it affects the way gravity works.
Right.
You know what I
right,
mean? Like
yeah.
we didn't come across any of that. We were like,
No.
if you throw this in someone's face, it melts their skin off.
Yeah, that's
you know?
what we have.
And
yeah.
we just consume resources, you
Yeah.
know, like just in mass. Like look at a farm, look at fields, look at the way we've reshaped the planet. Literally, we will grade down a mountain
yeah.
if we
Oh,
want
yeah.
to make a flat surface because we like the 90-degree angles and the flat surfaces.
course.
And we need to consume, and we have to, and something
Right.
has to get destroyed. There can be no symbiotic relationship with almost anything,
Right.
to keep humans alive with the technology we have now.
Yeah.
So I think as technology improves, I don't know that we're going to focus more on becoming self-sustaining like the Federation. I think eventually,
it's so weird,
over
right.
a million years, if we do start doing spacefaring, we just become the aliens from Independence Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
That would be insane.
Yeah.
I can see that happening
Yeah.
though. So instead of, I think that
It'd
on
be
a
a
global
planet
scale,
full of those little weird aliens,
Right,
Celebrating
yeah.
the 4th of July, and then we come in, and we're in big mechanical suits that look like
Right.
RoboCop. It's like 10 feet tall. We're like smashing them.
yeah, stomping them like
Yeah.
fucking Starship Troopers and shit. Yeah, it's so weird. Yeah, but it was just a wild thought process that I wanted to talk about on the podcast, and I'm glad we're here right now. We're in here and we're talking about
Yes.
it because there are so many different things that could have happened. There are so many different things that will still happen, but there is a general theme of this, and the more you think about it, the closer you get to understanding just the position of yourself
Yeah.
in this universe, the position of humanity, how it all ties together and where we're headed.
Yeah.
And it's not anything is definite. This is coming from the guy that thinks that Hollywood movies are preparing us
For the alien invasion.
the alien
Hey,
invasion,
yeah.
of course. And I can walk you down that rabbit hole many a times, and I've done it many
We're only
times
at 18
before.
minutes. I'm sure we'll get there.
Yeah,
This has
yeah.
been a very dense beginning of the episode.
Hell yeah. So, and but at the same time, it's all connected because you can't have movies that get as intricate as Arrival, where aliens just show up and then they teach us that the way we see time, which I always say is just a man-made invention.
Of course.
Yeah, the way we see time is not the same as they see time, and they see it from the start to finish. And it's just a different theory.
Yeah.
Because normally you don't think about time. You think about time as in what time is it, not what is time. You feel
Well,
me?
that's always, the discussion with multiple dimensions.
Yeah.
What is it called? Flatland. I'm sure you've seen that thing where they talk about if you lived in a 2-dimensional world and someone and like you were on the surface of a piece of paper and someone drew a line,
Yeah.
you would be barely perceptible if perceptible to you at all.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Because it
Right.
would just exist in your dimension.
Yeah.
But then if you someone put a 3-dimensional object in your world, it would just look like a straight line in front of you.
Right.
Because it would occupy all of that little bit of space.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so the building and the pencil line would look exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
But if you draw back to a 3rd dimension, you can see them and you can make these 3rd-dimensional structures.
Right.
But then if you pull back to the 4th dimension, the idea being that you would be able to see the timeline on which all of this occurs
Right,
and be
right.
able to interact with it or travel to it. It may be you may be on a planet where you're looking at it, and you got to
Yeah.
invent space flight to get there because you live in this
Right.
4th dimension or whatever.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
You live in whatever people in the 4th dimension live in.
Yeah.
So
It's-
that means
it's
that those
insane,
exist
yeah.
infinitely too, with other infinite permutations.
Oh yeah, of
and-
course. It's a big rabbit hole to dive down because
Yeah.
it's so many different variations, like you said. But man, it's just and what the thing about Arrival is that they had to teach us how to learn their language, how to speak, and everything. So that's something else that I believe will be a thing. and the way that they showed up, there was just different ships around the world. I think that part about all the nations coming together and like working together to at the end was like, that's too Hollywood, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be like that. I don't think it's going to end up being like a war or anything, but.
Well, when they write these movies, even if, whatever, like a lot of them take a lot of time to consider, like kind of consider these, paradoxes or what would life that's foreign to us look like?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But even still, we still only understand it in the scope. Like, I'm definitely ripping off Neil deGrasse Tyson here, but like, we definitely don't. We only understand it in the scope of our understanding, because he talks about how people in the 1800s and 1700s or whatever postulated there being other planets with people on them. But on those planets, what they had was they were on boats there too and rode horses.
Right.
And like if they traveled from one place to another, it looked like a boat.
Right.
And the people would look like us, and their horses would look like horses.
Exactly.
It's part. It's like in Star Trek. The reason everyone looks like a person is because it's a person with a bunch of makeup on.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So and like even movies like Independence Day it's us invading ourselves with these horrible. It's sort of a sort of
crazy.
a mirror on humanity.
So it
with
is
the Independence Day aliens.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get what you're saying. Yeah, because it is more of a reflection of ourselves.
Yeah, but even situations where they talk about time and like it's all kind of from the mindset of what would a human mind do with that information? Would they go work with people? Would they jump in and out and affect the outcomes?
Yeah.
What kind of are they? Are they benevolent or are they awful? Like humanity. So you play with those ideas. I think that whatever's going on out there is well beyond our comprehension. If there's some stuff going on out there, I think it's like, okay, we see this thing and it looks like a straight line or it looks like a tic-tac or whatever, but really that thing is existing in multiple realities simultaneously.
See, the other thing that popped in my mind was the universe has different Earths, different societies that are as intelligent as Earth, and then the push to naturally get more efficient will ultimately lead to us connecting with each other. And then if you're thinking of the universe
as the universe in some way,
if you think of the universe as a living being instead of a big bang or a scientific phenomenon, then naturally it's going to want to mature and then get better, just as we used to be infants that couldn't speak at all, but now we have jobs, we have this vast education and knowledge. Is the universe that different? Is it maybe the same? Are we looking at a bang or are we looking at a being? And if it knows that it's growing and needs to mature, are there other civilizations? Because we can prove that there are galaxies that have planets that should have habitable stuff like us, about as far away from their sun as Earth.
Yeah, and especially like the infinite number of times that could have happened.
Yeah,
and that's true too. Maybe like what I was saying. Maybe sometimes we like get, especially being a little more skeptical. Like maybe. We kind of get up our own asses being like, this would be something we couldn't even fucking comprehend. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
No, it didn't happen like this. It's something you have no idea. It's so crazy. And it really is just like humans again. And they're just like, they're like, yeah, it was the same enzymes, whatever. It was the same progression.
Yeah.
We got hit with an asteroid around the same time.
Of course.
The conditions were so similar that,
And that's the crazy thing about the Hollywood movie theme is that, it's like, just pretty much.
Do you guys have dolphins? They're like, oh no, we slaughtered them before space travel. We would have started traveling through the stars sooner, but it was such a technological feat to kill all the dolphins.
Dude,
so
I wish that we would live through that. Because I'd be like, see.
They're like, you guys still have dolphins? Get rid of them.
Like, what the fuck? What? Are you you gave him a fucking TV show?
Yeah.
Are you guys stupid?
Yeah. You're having them perform in rooms with children?
Like, what the fuck? You like children? You let them around children? Do you know what they fucking do, bro? What the fuck? You gave them video games? Holy shit.
That'd be the best thing I could hope for. Is
Hell
to be
yeah.
like, they're like, oh, well, we'd have been here sooner, but we had to eradicate dolphins, so that took them quite a bit of energy and materials, we too need
Yeah.
power sources and stuff. But
Yeah, whatever we do, we got to make sure we work all of these crazy theories in whatever movie production we have to where it's always a question of
that's a
because-
short cartoon we could probably make over
Yeah.
Zoom.
Yeah.
I may start writing it. Like,
Yeah.
it's like an alien species comes and they're like, dolphins? What the fuck?
Right.
It turns
and then
out
you
it's
gotta
just
know.
humans
You
again.
gotta know. And I
Yeah.
love doing that because it gives us a nice deep foundation of people to dive back in and be like,
Yeah.
you know, because all of a sudden we'll be the topic on Reddit and they're like, why do these guys hate dolphins? And then somebody be like, well, actually, if you go back to episode such and such of the One Gram Army podcast, and then Caviar, you refer yourself to shirtcaviar.com podcast section.
Yeah. You would know this is
Yeah.
a joke and of why
Yeah.
they're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not a joke. Dolphins will
aliens-
literally fucking rape you. They'll
Yeah, that
grab you
part
with their
isn't a
dick
joke.
and they'll drag you to the dolphin rape caves.
That's
and
not
they will
a
have
joke.
their way with your body.
It's not a joke.
Dolphins are fucking evil, like serious shit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and they're terrible to each other.
Yeah, yeah.
And, yeah.
Here's another thing about the universe that's not as grim. I chose to go to college for 4 years to learn to be a graphic designer so I could start my own business, Shirt Caviar, so I can come on this podcast, Pod Caviar, just so we can talk about how dolphins suck and that they're evil. And then Graham has the idea to come up with a dolphin shirt that I can design and put on my own store.
If we've done nothing else between the two podcasts,
Yeah.
raising awareness about how terrible dolphins are.
Yeah.
It's to me, it's our combined opus. It's our
course.
great contribution
Yeah.
to society.
Oh, yeah.
That we got out here and told people that.
Of course.
Yeah, dude, the aliens
that's
in the
it.
cartoon would go to Japan when they have all the dolphins in the cove and they'd be like eating popcorn and cheering and high-fiving. They're out there like, use this, and it's like a lightsaber with 20 points on it. You
Fuck
just
yeah,
stab it
you
into the
stab it
ocean.
into the
It's
ocean
just
and
killing
boil 'em,
dolphins like
boil
50
the
at a
fuck out of
time.
them. Motherfuckers.
All right. Well, good. I'm also glad I'm going to release this as an episode of my podcast, which means I'll have to listen to it and other people will hear it more than once. I'll have to
Yes.
hear it twice.
Yeah.
At least.
Oh, yeah.
And I will remember this and get to work on this post haste. I like these dolphins coming
Yeah.
aliens coming from another planet, and they're just basically just like us, but
Yeah.
they're like,
what
oh,
the
we
fuck?
got rid of dolphins
What?
a long time ago.
I will say that as far as the Hollywood movies, on another tip,
We got rid of the dolphins before we got to pay equality.
like, no, those motherfuckers had to go. You didn't
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, you guys had a Vietnam War? No,
Wow.
we spent 40 years battling with the dolphins. We got-
No, we had to eradicate the Vietnam War. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah.
No, what?
No. You mean
no.
the Ho Chi Minh thing? All that? We didn't care about that.
Like, no, nobody.
Nobody
what
had
the
time
fuck?
to worry about communism spreading. We were a single species
Yeah.
united by one goal,
Right,
and that's
and
how
it's
we got
killing
utopia,
dolphins, yeah.
and that's how we learned how to do
Of
space
course,
travel.
yeah.
That's how we got to space.
That's
We
how
were
we got
able to
here.
Put
Like,
our
what do you
differences
mean?
aside.
Yeah. No, that's just one race, the human race. What do you mean? Fuck dolphins, they gotta go. And I know we've jumped down many rabbit holes on this podcast.
man.
There's no way in fucking hell we've struck out every time.
No.
This theory is
No.
scientifically proven. And, it's logically the right thing to do.
Yeah.
We've even seen it with, what was that? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I always
Yep.
say that when the dolphins left. That was the best part of that fucking movie. I love that movie. What's your favorite part? In the beginning when the dolphins fucking left.
Yeah, when we got rid of the dolphins.
Yeah,
Hey,
fuck
thanks,
them.
dolphins. You guys knew this was happening all the time.
And then just were dicks and
your,
left.
Yeah, and your way to tell us was by doing flips. Like, oh, you guys didn't get the flips?
Yeah.
We're out.
Yeah. We tried to tell
You're
you.
super
like,
intelligent
get the fuck
aliens.
out of here. What?
Get a piece of chalk and write it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get something to write with.
Yeah.
You know, we don't communicate by flipping in front of each other.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're so fucking smart, you can leave the planet, but you can't tell us.
Yeah, no.
that-
The author of Hitchhiker's Guide to the
Oh,
Galaxy
God.
had at least had a hunch about dolphins.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was right.
Oh yeah, of course.
Absolutely correct. Jeez. But yeah.
Inescapable.
Ad Astra. Watch that movie. That's how space travel is going to be. It made sense to go from the Earth to the moon and then launch from the moon to Mars. You'll save more fuel. It's government. It looks like an airport terminal. It's like if every airport terminal was built and maintained by the federal government. So, it's like the PAX terminal.
Yeah.
Basically.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, you
Yeah.
can never...
Any veteran, when I say PAX terminal, you immediately know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, and you can never forget the air travel portion of Fifth Element either, I think.
That too.
The weird thing about that was that there was the garbage was all piled up, and I was like, how did we get to the part where the airport was the dump? That's
Right.
seemed
I think
weird.
maybe they were so big. Maybe they move so much that it's hard to control that much trash.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
airports are automatically, they have a lot of waste.
Yeah, they got trash cans though, and mobs of people going around getting the trash out. I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever seen a full trash can at an airport. Well, definitely in Vegas. I've seen spilling over.
Vegas. Yeah, Vegas was, that's one.
But I've seen a lot of stuff in Vegas that I don't think I've ever
I
seen.
don't know. Yeah, the trash was also,
think-
that was crazy.
Internationally, though, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Where was I? No. That was Spokane, Washington. Sorry. Yeah, I do remember that airport was filthy. But it's a filthy place. Nobody wants to go to Spokane, Washington.
I don't want to go to the northwest. No.
There's some cool stuff in the north. Like parts of Oregon are pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
It's real pretty. They do always kind of got some shit going.
Mm-hmm.
But Washington and Oregon are split by that, like where that mountain range is. Like, so there's
Right,
high
right,
desert and
right.
then like the coastal area where it's more temperate,
Mm-hmm.
almost like tropical, but it's cold. And the high desert part's terrible. Both of those states.
Yeah.
It's like it's just dry, so it'd be cold and dry. It'd be hot
fuck
and like
that.
absurdly dry.
Yeah.
Like it's gross. It's
Nah.
it's 110 in the summer and then like negative 30 in the winter.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No, you don't want any
No.
parts of that.
Nah.
I don't even know how I got on. That.
LA weather is fucking perfect.
That's what people say.
Yeah.
That's why they
Yeah.
go there.
Yeah.
Yep, that's why they go there.
I mean, it's pricey, but you get it. You're in paradise, so fuck it. Whatever.
do you want to talk a little bit more? I was gonna go grab a beer.
Yeah.
We're at,
yeah,
only at
yeah.
30 minutes. You want?
Oh, okay.
You want something? You want Modelo or something? I don't know if there's any of that left, but I'll get you some if you
Oh
want.
yeah, if you could,
Yeah, I got you.
I could ramble on for
Hey
a little
man,
while.
you're hosting a podcast.
Oh yeah. So yeah, the universe. What do we got to? What do we have to learn from it? I'm wanting to become more closer to listening to what the universe has to say, and what I explained earlier is that is the universe talking. You have a trigger event in a multiverse. Many different possibilities could have happened. This possibility led me here to talk about it on this episode of Pod Caviar. And if this is your first episode, if this is your first time listening to Pod Caviar, I'm going to tell you right now, you got to subscribe. Not only do you have to subscribe, you have to turn on the post notification so that when I upload a new episode, you'll get a notification on your phone. You could tap in, listen, and there you have it. You have been enlightened with the art from the Empire of Caviar. You know how else you can support the Empire of Caviar? You can go to twitch.tv/nothavingit. I'm on there. I'm streaming. I'm either watching YouTube videos and talking about the past and just being funny and just having a blast, hanging out with people that are in the chat room, whoever shows up. Or I'm playing, streaming some sort of gameplay from mostly Call of Duty, zombies. But I'm there. I'm having fun. You can also subscribe to me or follow me on Twitter at Not Having It. You know, I'm on there. And the best way that you can help the Empire of Caviar is going to shirtcaviar.com and immersing yourself into the art. The art is everything. So if you go there, you see a design, you want to buy it or whatever, it's on canvas, it's on a hoodie, it's on a shirt. Use code OGA for 10% off. The OGA is, of course, the 1 Gram Army, the sponsor of this beautiful podcast. You got 2 ears, we got 2 podcasts. Subscribe to both and then turn on the post notifications.
My name is Big Dick Daddy, and I'm from Cincinnati.
I'm back.
I would like to have some pussy.
Sorry, not very fitting with the motif of the podcast at this point, but that only means we're back.
Yes, we are. Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's some good stuff, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. These are things I ponder often, and like I said, even in my everyday life, some weird will happen, and I always go, "Well, there's another version of the universe where I did this."
Right.
You know,
right.
there's another version where I showed up to this or I didn't show up to this.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that you've become more efficient in your life?
I'm sure in one universe I have.
Yeah.
It only goes to show there has to be. We just
Yeah.
said infinite possibilities.
Oh, yeah,
sure, I'm
yeah.
sure. Well, yeah, and I think that comes with age though too.
Yeah.
But that also I don't think goes across the board. It may across realities, but you know what though? That's not necessarily the case because even someone who's got a lot of problems or they're making bad decisions or they're addicted or they have mental health issues or they just are dumb and they do dumb stuff all the time, they do get more efficient in their behavior.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you smoke crack, you start smoking crack and you have like a job and a family and stuff. But you slowly start becoming more efficient at getting a hold of crack to where all of that stuff falls away.
Right.
And you're just like, well,
I gotta get to the crack.
My kid's soccer game was long as fuck.
Yeah.
But I can change this alternator and get $10
Right.
now with my bare hands and my teeth.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
that is it is. I am being facetious, but I hadn't considered it until you mentioned it. That really, actually, I think everybody and everything does sort of grow in efficiency.
Of course.
You
got to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up until it's eventually.
That's a full spectrum, though. Yeah, because you can be more efficient in your commute to work or to your commute to get
I
crack.
would like to have some pussy.
That too. Sorry,
Yeah,
I was
that
clicking
too,
the wrong
pussy.
button
Yeah.
here. But
Yeah. I saw something the other day.
that guy got a lot more efficient.
Yeah.
He was, and someone was, this was during the protests. This was on a live stream I did when I was barely able to live stream. I don't think I was showing video then, or it may have been on the TV.
Right.
But it was during the protests of last year, and she was interviewing him, and he was like, he's just kind of this big fat white dude from Ohio or whatever. But he's like, these people have a pretty good point, man. Fuck these cops or whatever, And she's like, sir, what's your name? And he was like. He was like, when I was younger, I would have assumed that this is like a news professional and we're on live television. So I waited until afterwards. This guy didn't have time for that
My
shit.
name is Big Dick Daddy, and I'm from Cincinnati.
And she asked him another question, and
I would like to have some pussy.
Yeah.
was,
There you go.
it's an example of efficiency.
Yeah. There you have it. You cut right to the point.
I think
Cut to the
we
chase.
proved it here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything does eventually become more efficient.
And see, as you live and grow older, you age, you become more efficient, no matter what efficiency you decide to take, which lane. How is the universe any different? Or is it a bang or a being? See, that's the thing. That's the thing. If you come out of this show and you listen to it, is it a bang or a being?
There's your title.
Yeah.
Bang or being.
Bang or being.
Well, in my own sort of evolution, I think also part of becoming more efficient is like sort of admitting that like you don't have all the answers and nobody does up to an extent. Because I know when I first kind of started getting into astrophysics and the size of the universe and the mind-blowing complexity of life and all of this, and then start multiverse and the Large Hadron Collider and all like particle stuff.
Right.
When I started trying to absorb all that, most of which I'm too dumb to really understand, when I first got into that kind of stuff, I would have been like, no, the universe isn't alive. It's just this like random convergence of circumstance.
Right.
But it can appear to be a random convergence of circumstance. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's not, because our life, that's what we're talking about. Your life is a random convergence of circumstances that blow out into this infinite fractal timelines of different experiences.
Exactly.
That in itself, that chaotic, that's nature. That's nature.
Yeah.
That's all things in nature.
Yeah.
If that exists, that means that's part of nature, which means this further blown out fourth dimensional thing is part of nature. And I can't at least not be agnostic about the fact that in some way, I don't think it indicates in any way intelligent design unless we were able to pull even further back just based on how that works. But like, I'm not really willing to subscribe to intelligent design at this point in my life, but I have to at least be agnostic that whatever's happening here is nature, and it does seem to be alive, whatever that means.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, all of these events, the machinations of the universe, it does, to me, seem to indicate that it is alive, even if it's not being controlled and it wasn't necessarily constructed for our benefit. It still seems to live. Stars live and die. How much stuff lives on a rock spinning around a star?
Right.
And all of that, the evolution of the entire solar system, all of that only exists in the blink of an eye as far as the universe is concerned.
Of course. That's insane, bro.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that it looks, that what could be more alive.
Right.
It reminds me of that Rick and Morty thing where Morty gets out of the spaceship while they're in space, and he goes, "Morty, get back in the car. You can't be out here." And he goes, "There's nothing out here." He says, "This is space. Literally everything is out here."
Yeah. Fuck yeah, bro. Yeah.
Literally everything is
Yeah,
out here.
yeah,
It's
and
true.
it is.
All
Yeah.
of reality.
Of course.
Exists out there in one form or another.
Yeah. So the only other thing is now we got to figure out a way to do the fucking Rick and Morty portal thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that's another thing, another way of Hollywood
Although
kind of got us to the way.
there would definitely be permutations of that where the first time they turned it on, it opened up into some universe full of
Of course.
bears. There's just a whole every
Yeah.
planet was bears, and they had
Yeah,
spaceships.
some weird
and-
shit.
Yeah,
I think. Well, they,
just came
we did that
pouring
episode
in.
about the Philadelphia experiment.
Yeah.
and that was the basis for Stranger Things, where
Mm-hmm.
the government had opened that portal to a different dimension that
Yep.
was more. It was more dangerous than bears.
yeah,
Yeah, it was kind of weird, but
I don't think we have any business opening anything up into anything.
no.
You can maybe
No.
stick if you can get into it with like a tiny camera. And just
Yeah.
poke it through the other side, take a look around, and then destroy everything
Yeah.
that created the portal.
Yeah,
We wouldn't do that though.
no.
Somewhere
of
there'd
course
just
not.
be an open door,
No.
like in Stranger Things. There would just be several places where there's
Yeah,
just
I
an
think
open door into
it
this
would-
other dimension.
Yeah, it would be that, or if we monetized it immediately,
yeah,
then it would be secure, because one of the most important things in our universe is money.
getting that shmoney.
Yeah, of course.
That
So
shmoney.
that capitalism, getting that
that's-
green.
That's such a funny thing too about like when you start talking about all this
Yeah,
stuff, and,
yeah.
and then you kind of back out of it and come back to your own point of view.
Yeah.
and you're like, yeah, I do, but I gotta go fast.
Right.
Boy, this system we got is really hurting a lot of people. But I want to look at ass on Instagram though.
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
like
Like,
it's so
that's how it
weird.
goes, yeah.
the human ability to pan all the way out, gain this greater perspective, and
Yeah.
still, be like, oh, I got some shit on my shirt. It's mess up my day.
You can see on different realities and other planets, but it's monetized, so you get the whole Black Mirror ad experience. What was that one where they were on the? Have you ever seen that episode where they were on the bikes in Black Mirror, and they had to work out, but like every time they were on the bike, they built up credits.
Oh no, I didn't actually see that one. I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
the description.
You
of it.
gotta check that one out. But they
I
slept
will.
in these cubes that were covered in like LED screens, so it was like you were living in a TV.
Yeah.
So you had to, if you were watching TV, you would have an ad like the old YouTube ads or whatever. If you broke, you still have YouTube Basic. I got YouTube Premium, little flex.
Right.
Nah,
yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But yeah, the
I got
YouTube
that.
videos.
Yeah.
But like, if you wanted to.
But that's because I'm on YouTube. Let's not.
Yeah. But yeah, if you wanted to skip
I'm
the
on
ad,
YouTube,
you had to pay credits for it, man. So you
Yeah.
you stayed on the bike, you got that, but then you go back to your cube and it's an ad and you got your fucking credits, and I'm like, bruh. Is that what we're going into? What if they have a big cube? What if this is like overpopulation, but this is the low cost resolution to overpopulation is you give people a single cube space, cover
Yeah.
it in ads, make them work to stay in the building.
Yeah.
So then they do the ads. They get bombarded with ads. If they want to skip an ad, they have to fucking
Right,
pay
you have to
credits.
pay.
Yeah. And that's a never-ending cycle, bruh.
That is the kind of thing, my dystopian future, and this is what
Yeah.
I've talked to people about this on many occasions.
Yeah.
Is it's not necessarily that they sterilize everyone or they're doing it to suck our energy. I think
Right.
all of this is geared towards more effectively advertising things for you
Yeah.
and explaining to you
Yeah.
what's good for you.
Of course.
Telling
Of course.
you what you should
Dude,
based
because-
on your inner interests.
Yeah.
And they're collecting this data constantly. And
Yeah.
eventually the AI will have it And that's when I think we'll start seeing things like that.
But see, we're already seeing it in microforms
Right.
now because we talked about sentient and
Yeah.
how that is the AI that the government is. I think they have sold the rights to that to these corporations. That's why you have these casual conversations or thoughts, and then you'll see an ad for it on Facebook or through Google or through your normal web searching on your phone.
Yeah.
It's like you will see things like that because of the metrics and the listening and the keywords and all that.
Of course.
And it has to come from an AI because they would take too many people to have that much power to accurately suggest what a person is going to do, an individual.
No.
7
You
billion
couldn't-
people, and then you
No,
have
no.
you couldn't
It's an
possibly AI, bro.
tailor it quicker. Of course, it is now, and that's what I think
Yeah.
though is
Yeah.
especially because I'm into VR, and that's sort of the thing that
Yeah.
I think about is I'm like, wow, as this improves and eventually becomes augmented reality, where because even if it's not
Right.
like a fucking like a a contact lens,
Right.
probably not in our lifetime, but if it was just a pair of little like goggle glasses that
Yeah.
you wore,
Yeah.
that you could see through fine, but you were actually seeing that through a series of cameras,
Yeah,
as
man.
opposed to like instead of actually being transparent.
Yeah.
And in there, you can play immersive video games, Fifth,
That would be
Sixth Life.
insane.
You can do whatever
Yeah.
you want. You can augment the reality around you. So anything you look at, you could like squeeze your fingers on it, and it'd be
Yeah.
like, this house was built at this time, and it's worth this much money. And
Right.
you know what I mean? Like,
Right,
what is
right.
that? And like look up in the sky and squeeze your fingers because you see a plane, and it's like that's a Boeing 7, and it shows you like a close up, like high resolution image.
That
of
would
it.
be so dope,
Yeah,
bruh.
You wouldn't need to stick it in people's contacts. People would just live in that.
Yeah.
But it would be advertising would become 18,000 times more intrusive than it is when you're trying to watch
What-
TV or
okay.
YouTube, because you're willing to pay to get rid of those ads.
Yeah.
How much would you be willing to pay to get rid of the ads that were in your actual reality? Like your
Yeah,
ability
yeah.
to interface
Or
with
what-
reality was
or-
dependent on watching
Or
advertising.
what would be the limit? What would you think for you? What would you
Yeah.
think your comfortable limit would be? To where you're like, I don't give a fuck. It's here.
I hate advertising so much.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who's spent any time anyone in my family or anyone tried to, I
Mm-hmm.
hate commercials. I won't sit through them. Like
Yeah.
if I'm on Facebook and
Yeah.
I'm trying to watch a video, I'll set the phone down or walk away from it.
Right.
Sometimes if I thought I wanted to see the video and it shows me an ad, I report it as sexually explicit no matter what it is, because I hate advertising.
Yeah.
So my upper limit for what I'd be willing to pay
Right.
to exist in the reality in which I interface without
Yeah.
seeing ads,
Yeah.
I would have to experience it, but it would be a lot. It would be a
Yeah.
big percentage.
Yeah.
Like they would really, and I think they would eventually tailor it to that too. They'd be like, "Oh, you work at Walmart, you $30,000 a year. If you give us 20% of the money you make every year,
Yeah.
no
It'd be
advertising,
ad-free. It'd be ad free.
no more advertising."
And you would pay that?
Yeah. No, I don't
What
know
if
for
it-
sure.
No, I mean, but
Yeah,
hypothetically,
this is
what if it was? Let's
theoretically-
say if it was even 10% or of your annual salary, that's a lot of fucking money.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Although I'd hate to think of if I really sat down and crunched the numbers, what I spend 10% of my yearly salary on. They'd probably be horrifying anyway.
Oh, I know mine would be fucking terrifying.
Yeah. It'd be a bunch of little blocks of 10%. Where they'd be like, how are we
Right.
already at 60?
Yeah.
How did we get here?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it would be that difficult for them to,
Right.
especially if it was that.
Yeah.
If it was that. You
What
know
if
what I
it
mean?
was-
'Cause
what
they
if-
don't do it in VR now, but you pay for everything and you pay out the ass compared to like the experience you get.
Right. Right.
But I think eventually that will all of that, or it'll just contain advertising that's you don't even think about.
Yeah.
Because like you put your goggles on.
Yeah.
You're walking around in your kitchen because
Yeah.
that Oculus headset is owned by Facebook. I have no misgivings about that. I don't like it, but I don't not know it.
Right.
But they have cameras on the outside, and the updates, that, in my opinion, was why they came out with Quest 2 so fast, was because the cameras were in HD, and they're trying to get to the point where because the refresh rate is to the point where
Right.
eventually they'll be able to update it to where you could just walk around with them on.
Right.
Because you can see outside of the Quest goggles, but the resolution is kind of like Terminator 1.
Oh,
you know?
shit. Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's not... But eventually those will be in HD, and then they'll just be in your house.
Yeah.
That you open the cabinet up and then you're wearing it later, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, yesterday you said you were gonna make spaghetti tonight, and you're actually out
Yeah,
of pasta.
that was my next question. Like, what if it was shit that you actually need? Would that make it better?
It would make it more likely for me to jack into it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though: Matrix versus being Neo.
Yeah.
I guess I'd like to know. And then if you showed it to me, and
Yeah.
you took me to that weird cave rave, I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, just plug me back in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take me back.
And I always said that because I was like,
if
if this is what it's really like, then no wonder that people take the other pill. No,
Yeah.
put me back. I don't give a shit.
You don't have
I don't want that.
any leisure activities.
And then it's
you don't have
different
football.
Yeah, and then it's like, do you have different phases?
And
of
now that I
people?
know, I'm happy to go back into the Matrix
Yeah.
and tell people.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you're interested, they're looking for people.
Yeah.
Pick up your cell phone, they'll find you.
Yeah.
It is real.
We got the
Think I'm
perfect
crazy.
platform for it. A podcast.
Yeah. I'd tell everybody. I'd be like, oh man.
Yeah.
You don't want to go
You can
there.
be like, I don't believe. It's perfectly fine if you don't believe me.
Yeah.
I get it. But here's the thing. I've seen it, and it's pretty shitty.
Yeah, it
There's no
sucks.
steak. There's no lobster. There's no seafood. You can eat oatmeal
the
with
steak
no sugar.
thing was huge. That was like the
That
Matrix
was-
when the
yeah.
guy ate the steak,
Yeah.
and that was the reason why he wanted to be back.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that makes sense. That
Yeah,
guy was eating
everything that guy
gruel.
said. Yeah, I was like, yeah, no fucking way. Yeah, I'd want to
Yeah.
go back too. Fuck that.
I'm like,
I don't
why
give a shit.
do I need to do this espionage thing for you? You want my body heat or whatever?
Yeah.
Just plug me back in.
Yeah, just give it. Put me
Yeah.
back in the pot. I don't give a
Yeah.
shit.
Make me a
You know?
cop, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this.
Right.
You guys got no
Give me
Sunday
a
night.
fucking-
You don't have
give me-
Sunday night football. You guys don't have shit.
Yeah, nothing. Nothing.
terrible.
That was depressing as shit.
What did you escape into? Underground?
Right. No sunlight. You're fighting against monsters that
Yeah.
block the sun. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
The robots?
Robots with like bazillions
Machines?
of arms.
Yeah.
Like, no.
And it's like,
no.
all you guys have is a rave. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, are you fucking kidding
And
me?
this thing where you're fighting for. Because this ain't Terminator. You guys
No.
aren't going to take over the robots. You're wearing potato sacks and living underground.
Right.
You don't
right.
stand
the
a
robots
chance.
technically won.
And then, it's already over.
Yeah.
But then let's say you knock out whatever their thing is.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
What do you
What's
have?
the next step?
This scorched sky,
Yeah.
burnt up. No.
How are you gonna get rid of all that robot shit?
Yeah,
you
and
know?
there's just and the earth is unlivable because the
Yeah.
sky is choked with pollution.
yeah. Like what
That
the
happened
fuck?
before the robots took over and
Like,
were
what are
kind
you gonna
enough
do?
to
You're
breed
gonna
us in
have
these
to, like-
tubes and be
yeah.
like, hey, now you get to experience a cool day at the beach.
Exactly.
Oh,
They were
evil
actually looking
alien.
out for us,
Oh,
yeah.
you live a whole life, but while you're alive, we're using your energy
Yeah,
to
to just,
perpetuate our existence.
Yeah.
And give more
Okay.
people the opportunity for this experience.
Yeah, that too. That could be the selling point.
Yeah,
like
and
more
then-
people could go to the beach now. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you don't want to live in that world.
Right.
If you lived in that world, humans would construct a thing like that to not live in that world.
Exactly.
Maybe humans created the damn Matrix robots. Some other humans who weren't having an orgy in a cave
Yeah.
invented the Matrix robot system
Yeah.
solely because they were like, well, this is terrible.
Yeah. I want to escape this.
Yeah, I don't want to do this. I've been working
yeah.
on this forever.
There you go.
Society's over, and he just hit a button, and the Matrix happened.
Exactly.
And he was in there.
Yeah.
He was born into a new life.
Yeah.
He got like a whole new existence.
Yeah. And then that set up the whole thing
And
for
then-
every human.
And so you had a life. See, and that's
See?
well, we're almost at 55 minutes, but
Okay.
I don't. It's up
Nah,
to you.
yeah, we can keep rolling.
But yeah, like that's the one thing I would like to close on for my argument about a lot of this
Mm-hmm.
stuff is that like, so I love thinking about this stuff and I love kicking this stuff around. And there
Mm-hmm.
seems to be, in our understanding, some actual absolutes and some big questions,
Yeah.
big gaps of questions that are left unanswered when you consider the infinite nature of the universe and the infinite nature of realities, right?
Yeah.
But this goes back to what we were saying about the Matrix. Let's say we live in a simulation.
Right.
Let's say we live in the Matrix.
Right.
Let's say we're living in one of an infinite number of realities.
Right.
It doesn't actually change the parameters of your existence.
Right.
As you in this existence.
Right.
It can help you gain perspective.
Yeah.
But whether you live in the Matrix or not, most people got to get up and get out there and get it.
Yeah.
You got to get up. You got to go to work. You got
Yeah.
to go get groceries. You got to
Oh,
deal.
yeah.
You age. You hurt.
Yeah,
You ache.
exactly.
You get fat. You get not fat. You
Yeah.
know. You fuck. You drink. You whatever. All of this stuff happens.
course.
But if it's the Matrix, it doesn't change the parameters of any of that. If you don't live in the Matrix and you live with those cave people, that radically changes the parameters of your existence to a place that I don't know that I'm interested in.
No. I was never interested in that.
I don't know what medium. That's another thing about the Matrix. I don't know what medium those ships are flying around in. I guess they're in sewer tunnels and it's anti-gravity or something.
Yeah, it's just underground tunnels.
Like, I don't know
and there was an
sometimes it seems like they're
anti-gravity
in
thing.
water
Yeah.
or whatever. Like in the first movie, that wasn't very clear. And there's robots that can jump on top of your ship and punch holes in it.
Of course, yeah.
And you're building these like anti-gravity ships that fly around in the sewers, but you're all dressed like you head into the soup kitchen. And
it's weird, right?
And the food in your ship is just...
It's so weird.
You know, it's like a little bowl of cum, and you're like, well, it's food. And I'm like, but we have the... How'd we hollow out all these caves and build these ships?
Yeah.
We couldn't
we
synthesize
couldn't do
something to
anything.
eat that doesn't suck.
Yeah, they couldn't do a replicator. They couldn't do anything.
Me back into the Matrix.
Of course. Like, you guys don't have bacon? Nothing,
if they were
not
like,
even the necessities.
Yeah, if they were like, oh, we put you back in the Matrix, you won't remember any of this. I'd be like, good. Good. If that's the trade-off. I'd love to go back and know so I would appreciate my life even more.
Exactly.
And I would
That would
give
be insane.
thanks.
Some sort of awakening to where randomly somebody would have this weird, realistic, like unplugging, and then it's like, this is what life is really like for humans.
Yeah.
Now that we'll send you back, you must do a better job with your life, and then you immediately wake up like, oh shit, what?
Yeah. No, you would
And you
appreciate
fucking-
so much.
Yeah.
You'd appreciate so much.
Dude, everything.
Every ray of sunshine that rolled across your windshield, you'd be like, wow.
Yes, bro.
Like when you saw, like the first time you saw the graphics in Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, of course.
Where you saw
yeah.
yourself in the reflection of the eye of the horse. And you're
right.
like,
You're
wow.
like, holy shit.
All of
No
that
way.
would be everything.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, this table.
Yeah.
Oh, God, praise the creators.
Yeah. You'd be immediately
Praise
back
the
on
machines.
track.
Yeah.
Immediately back on track.
You would just feel so much better knowing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there is more out there actually, and you don't want it.
You do not want to know anything about that.
You don't want to
No.
go to the place
No.
where you eat cum
No.
and get conscripted in some
I
sort
feel
of
like-
weird military full of AOL screen name people.
Right. Yeah. So fucking weird. I feel like the if it was the Terminator universe, then I would be more comfortable there because I'd be like, fucking stupid humans.
Yeah.
We put ourselves in this position because really, honestly, humans really, we put ourselves in a lot of dumbass positions.
In the Terminator universe, there isn't an option.
Right.
That's just what reality becomes.
Right, yeah.
Most people are dead. The people who survive have to fight
Exactly.
horrific metal monsters.
Fucking monsters, yeah. I mean,
Horrific.
you're fighting monsters.
Yeah.
You know, tearing them up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty fucking awesome.
It's better.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's better. I see, and that's the thing. There's people in the Matrix who were born in the like in real life.
Right.
I'd be like, how could you bring life into this?
Right. Right.
Into
and
this?
they would that was the only world that they would know.
Yeah.
So anything
And they
of
don't
the
have
other
the
people, they would just be
attachment.
it would just be stories, and they would never be able to experience it
It's just
because they don't have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said.
They don't have the attachments to go into the Matrix.
Right.
And you'd be like, I'm sorry, what? Like, you know, you're an 8-year-old kid and you're like, I'm sorry, what was baseball? That shit sounds awesome.
What do you mean, ice cream?
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, it's this evil thing the Matrix made that, like, on a summer day, if you know, where you were having a bad day and you're
so
just
scorching hot. Yeah,
it's so
you
hot
just
and you're a
wanna-
child
Oh,
and you've been playing
man,
all day,
it's all
and
day.
You haven't
And
been
you just-
inside in a while, and you just feel that
know,
cool, refreshing.
Yeah.
the whole it's communal. The truck pulls
Yeah,
up.
and
the
it's so
evil
it's mobile.
Matrix
We put it
ice
in a
cream
fucking truck. Yeah.
it pulls up.
And it's just a trick, kid. It's just
Yeah,
a trick.
it's a
You don't
trick.
want none of that shit, kid.
You want to live here in
You
the
use
fucking cave,
Yeah.
Jamie.
This is the real world, bruh.
Eat
You
that,
know,
eat that cum, kid.
you might think it tastes good, but this is real, and you can't replace real. I'd be like, no, I want to replace real.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
No.
You're like,
Are
no,
you shitting
I
me?
can't. Why you can? Why aren't
can.
you?
Why the fuck are you here?
Yeah.
Why would you choose to come back? Like, no, I don't want it. I don't want the ice cream. I want to be real.
Yeah.
No, I want the fucking ice cream. Are you shitting me?
The entire
Are you
Matrix
kidding me?
is when keeping it
It's
real
he-
goes wrong.
Yeah, right. And that's why it was a one-time deal. He's like, yo, you choose the red or blue pill. It doesn't fucking matter. You get it one time. Because if it was a demo, can
Yeah.
you imagine the fucking people that would be like, oh,
yeah.
shit, nah,
If they
bro.
knew how to put you
What?
back.
Dude, what? They would have to sell it to you like a fucking timeshare,
Yeah,
bro.
you'd be halfway sliding down that tube,
Yeah.
butt naked. with holes all in your back into like a sewer pipe.
Right.
You'd back out before you got
you're
out the
like,
bottom of
what
that
the
tube.
fuck?
I'd be like, oh no, send me back, send me back.
Slide down naked, and then you're
Exactly.
fucking your ship for your week or whatever.
It's like
and you're just
mashing
fucking
the X button that appeared in front of your face. You're like, no.
no. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. No.
I don't want this.
Like, no, you only have to stay for 7 days.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in anymore.
Yeah.
No.
I love
I don't give a
being-
shit. I don't care.
Send me back to work.
I don't care.
Send me back to
I don't
work.
care. I don't know what you guys are here for. I don't care. I don't know. If it's a simulation, you can hack it and like give yourself a better life. Like, how bad is your life in the Matrix?
Yeah,
you're like,
for this to be where you wanted to
fuck
go.
that. Because Keanu Reeves was just working at a cubicle.
He's
I work
fine.
in a cubicle, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I've never wanted to be like, I want out of this life in the real world. No, fuck
Yeah,
that.
not
Because
that
I can walk
real world.
outside and have sunlight hit my face, and I'm like,
You
oh,
need tacos. We just ate tacos.
dude, yeah.
You can't do that in the Matrix. It's
Right.
just protein goo. That's all you
Yeah.
get.
Yeah.
You get cum, and that's what you get to eat in the Matrix.
And it's like, what the fuck? You choose that?
Yeah.
You choose
For
that,
what?
bruh?
Some sort of
Yeah, you choose
existential
that.
experience where you're
Right.
like, yeah, I don't really like need enjoyable things anymore.
Right.
I'm kind of trying to fight this fight against these things that will inevitably kill us.
Yeah.
Because this guy who is the one is good at fighting them in the Matrix.
Right.
But is a back sack of meat up against robots in this reality?
Yeah, it's so weird.
This doesn't.
Like,
I
what
don't
the
want it.
fuck?
I wouldn't want it. Any parts of it.
Dude, I would be the guy that's like, yeah,
You're
I'll
right
take,
though,
I'll
because
go
there's no
back.
demo. There's no.
Yeah, there's nothing.
There's no AOL
There's no demo.
25-hour
No,
CD,
dude,
for the
yeah,
Matrix.
Yeah, dude, and that could be one of our things.
Yeah.
We could take the Matrix and make it into a fucking timeshare thing, to where you got to sell humans into this, because we went through this. Nicole and I went through this when we went to Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
and it was a timeshare thing. We didn't
Oh,
buy,
man.
but they were good.
Oh, yeah.
and it would have to be better than that to be able to
Yeah.
fucking, to
You
sell
could-
you to the
listen,
real world.
You ain't selling the fucking real world to me or you. But you could sell it to some people.
You can sell that shit,
70
bruh.
million
Just
people.
look at all the fans of the Matrix that
Yeah.
really believe that shit is real.
Yeah.
And it's like, why would
Even
the
with-
fuck would you guys want to leave this?
Even without the Matrix, if you sold it correctly, if you were like, this is your key to real freedom. They don't have a mainstream media, no
we
CNN.
gotta get the Southerner.
No, none- oh, those people? You'd be like-
oh, what? You want to be real? Do you want to experience real life?
Yeah.
This is not real.
There's no race. Nobody cares about race.
No.
One single entity controls everything.
Right.
You
You fly around in spaceships. I'm telling you, this is not real life. I can show you real life.
It's true
right
freedom.
now.
We have true freedom available. You come on and you sign up right now. Mm-hmm. And then just true freedom is whatever they think, and then they
Yeah.
get shit out the tube
Exactly.
naked.
Yeah.
But you got them.
Yeah, you got them. There you go.
Yeah.
You feed them. You make them feel safe. You bring them in and you say, "Do you want to be real, or do
Yeah.
you want to live in a fantasy world?"
Yeah.
Because this is not real. Trust me, I've
I'd
seen
leave
it.
those people out there personally.
It's like
People who could be sold
got
on
it.
that.
Yeah.
Whether you showed them exactly what was going on or not, you'd be
Yeah.
sold on that.
Yeah.
I'd be like, well, that actually
there you
helps
go.
out. That actually helps the Matrix to drop some of this. Clears
You
the
clear
RAM
this
a
shit
little
out,
bit.
yeah. You clear the cache, clear the cache a little bit.
Clear the temporary internet
Yeah,
files, and now we can
exactly.
all fly.
And then we all have superpowers. Then it becomes Saints Row, the fucking most wild video game I've ever seen before in my life.
Every one
And
of
then
us.
there you go.
Every human on Earth lives in a skyscraper that's just
Yeah.
theirs.
Yeah.
And you go visit each other by flying from
Yeah.
house to
and
house.
then everybody has their own entourage
Yeah.
and your own crew.
You can
and
travel
shit.
into
Yeah.
space like Superman.
Yeah.
You
You can jump all the way up, clear buildings, soar.
travel across the universe at
Yeah.
faster than light speed.
Yeah.
Because you
So,
cleared
yeah.
the RAM of all the people who
There you
wouldn't
go.
want to live in the Matrix.
Right, because they were too cool.
Yeah,
They were
well,
too
and then
cool,
even the
you
guy,
know?
Agent Smith's like, we gave the utopia and they tore it apart. I was like, you should have taken a survey.
Yeah.
You should have.
There you go. Yeah.
You should have
Go
mined
ahead.
for this Morpheus guy. Actually, why don't you just let him?
Just leave him
clear the-
alone.
Yeah, just let him clear out.
Because
the
what the
dead
fuck?
weight.
What are you talking about? You know?
Let him clear
Just
out the
let him
dead
clear
weight.
it out. I don't understand.
Like, we'd have to take 5 years out the end of the life of everyone left. I'd be like, fine,
Go ahead.
fine.
Do it.
Reconstitute my goo and clone me and send me back.
Yeah, it's gonna be a shock, but then you're gonna get more people in the Matrix because if they tell me the truth, you show me that bleak reality, quote unquote, and then you're like, no, or you can just go back to living in L.A. and 30 minutes from the beach. I'm out the door before you finish that sentence, bro. I'm gone.
That's true too. That would benefit the Matrix too if you could show more people it.
Yeah,
because then only the people who weren't doing much for you anyway,
right, are
now in the fighting
in
the Matrix. Yeah, I'm like, dude, you're the Matrix. Just don't let them in. You're the Matrix.
Yeah,
get rid of phones.
Yeah,
go. Oh, no phones.
Yep, there you go.
No phones. Their phones are gone.
Bloop. Gone.
And then anyone who's in there stuck, and anyone who's not in there, can't get back in there.
There you go. Your oatmeal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yep.
And your potato sack shirts and shit.
All that shit.
So fucking weird. Fighting against the worm,
you all
fucking the sperm-looking robots.
I promise you all smell terrible.
Horrible.
But you have these weird anti-gravity sewer ships. That scene smelled bad.
Yeah.
That scene, the cave
having
rave.
a tube down your throat. The smell, the look, the experience. This is the real world, quote unquote. No, fuck no.
Pass.
No. Fuck no.
Pass.
At the end of your demo, what do you want to do? Do you want to be real or do you want to be fake? Where's the exit?
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about, give me back to the fake shit. I don't give a fuck.
Right now.
Like right fucking now.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I can't believe you brought me here. Maybe you could drop me down. How about put me on my couch with a beer in my hand and a really good game on TV?
Matter of fact, I'm already halfway back in the egg. Is
Yeah.
this my egg?
Yeah, exactly.
Is this my tube?
Yeah,
right here. Yeah.
It's not, but we
just,
may be able to make it. You're like, whatever.
Yeah, whatever, bro. You just fucking pull it back up and I'm fucking hung back in it like a vampire in a goddamn coffin.
Yeah.
I'm gone. Fuck
Just
that.
Instantly climbing that mountain of things looking for an empty egg.
I'm telling you, that shit is no.
I like that egg belongs to a 10-year-old Rwandan child soldier. Better than this.
Yeah, better than this bullshit. I bet every now and again he gets a fucking steak.
Yeah,
if
exactly,
he just fucking pick a guy off for 300 yards, I bet they give him a fucking mushroom.
Yeah, or he can eat
something.
eat a bag of Doritos or something.
Yeah, give me a fucking Twinkie or something. You guys have nothing.
You got nothing.
You got nothing. Nothing.
That kid gets to play soccer with his friends. Even if it's with another person's head,
dude.
It's better than the nothing you got going on.
You could give me my own ship. And I'm still like, I don't want a fucking part of this shit.
No.
Dude, you could give me my own ship and a crew of the hottest, most capable women ever.
No.
And they all want to bang me. And I'm still like, no.
I would rather come back
I
would rather go back to the Matrix and yerk it than do that.
Exactly. Exactly.
They'll be like, yeah, it's a lot harder to get laid in there. I'm like, that's awesome.
Okay.
You know what
that's
happens
cool,
when I start feeling sad about that?
Yeah.
They have alcohol.
Yeah.
And they have drugs.
They have
and
drugs
they got food,
and alcohol.
And you got buddies in there, and neither one of you is fighting robots, so you have plenty of time to kick it.
Right.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, no. And then I'm like,
Being with
even
you
at my
guys,
worst fucking day, I'm still like, no, I still want to be here. I don't want to go into the real world. Are you fucking kidding
Not
me?
that one.
No, fuck no.
Absolutely not.
Dude, no. Oh, no.
Yeah.
No way.
I think that's a given. Well, look, man. Did an hour and 10. Hour and 7:30 right now.
That's dope.
It's I don't care. I don't care. But it's,
I mean, shit. We could just split. What time is it?
10,
11
o'clock. Yeah. I probably should start wrapping it up because I do have to go actually physically to work tomorrow because nature is healing. It's really not, but I'm vaccinated, so I can't be like,
of course.
Oh, I better work from home for a living. I mean, I was very conscious of the dangers.
I hated that shit. I was so jealous of people that were teleworking that whole time because I was an essential worker.
It was so
I had to
wild
fucking
to
go.
me that they didn't let you work from home.
If anybody's listening here and you want to know what it's like to be in LA when a lockdown happened, think of Will Smith. Will Smith knows I Am Legend. And it's another example of how Will Smith knows how to take care of aliens, survive the apocalypse. He knows shit.
Yeah.
So when shit hits the fan, we got to find him. But that's what it was, dude.
Yeah.
It was just empty.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, in the middle of Los Angeles, and it was just deserted.
It was that way where you were for a lot longer than it was
here
too. Because I remember, and this is a trite conversation in some respects, but I don't mind recording it. Like I remember, it was sort of like one day, I kind of got the notion where I was like, I should buy like some groceries and stuff. And I was actually like out of gas.
Yeah.
And I went and I bought like a thing of paper towels and a thing of toilet paper.
Yeah.
It hadn't quite went the other way. That night I went to bed. I woke up in the morning and people had escalated to another level of nuts, but it was real early in the morning. So I was like, all right, well, let me run to Walmart and just grab a couple things. You know, I probably need a couple more things because I feel like this shortage may expand for a bit. And I remember going to that giant Walmart and those shelves where there's like paper towels and toilet paper and napkins were completely, all of that was completely empty. There was no bottled water. There was like a few of the like recycled single things of paper towels. Like, fortunately, I bought a big thing of toilet paper. Yeah. And the other thing I bought before the shit hit the fan was laundry detergent, which I was happy about because that somehow fell into a shortage too. But whatever happened, like, however it all panned out and all of that, those early days right there. Yeah. Before it, you know, it took like 10 minutes before they were like, this is a political thing and you're on this side or this side. Like, those few days right there were like, I'm sorry, what?
It was crazy.
Right.
I remember that. I remember getting the alert on my phone. Yeah. And everything was like shut down. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I was like, just fresh into my apartment too. And it was like, if I didn't get into my apartment when I did, I would have been fucked. Super fucked. So I'm like, damn, I'm trying to like get furniture. I'm trying to get a bed. I'm trying to get everything.
You're on your way into the move.
Dude, yeah.
And it clamps down on you.
Yeah. So we had lockdown, and then all of a sudden it was like everything was on fire. So you go outside and everything is orange. So it looked like I was on Mars, bruh. Yep. The best thing is that I was in LA, so the way LA is that it's going to get supplies. Yeah. So there was very little, if any, real shortage of supplies. And that was it, bro. But it was intense.
No, that was, last year was a fucking nightmare. Yeah. And to be honest, I'm not willing to relive it to the point where I'm like, I got vaccinated. Yeah. It's available to everyone. Yeah. If you didn't yet, that's sorry, bud. Yeah. Sorry. The opportunity has been there. You keep reading those stories.
You gotta get it. You gotta get it,
keep reading those stories. Well, even that's my thing. You should know you should get it. And if you don't know that, well,
how many more examples do you need?
You're gonna get COVID. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's gonna get you.
And even if it doesn't fuck you up, you'll give it down somebody down the line who it will fuck up. Yep. And that was the point of everything last year, not the barbaric, horrific lockdowns that went on forever and ever and ever. Yeah. But the point was to mitigate risks. Yeah. So that because it's a part of a chain of infection. You don't want to be the person who gives it to somebody who dies. Right. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You don't want to do that.
You don't want to be that person.
Right. And you also don't want to, on the off chance, end up in the hospital or dead. Right. So you get vaccinated. Right. If it turns out that now that I'm vaccinated, I can give an unvaccinated person COVID by not wearing a mask.
They had the chance.
So you can walk in anywhere and get it.
Yeah. This is what happens when the mainstream media takes a pandemic and makes it into a political thing.
Dude, me and you got the anthrax shot.
Oh God! And I was just talking about that yesterday.
They tested it on us,
and I was just talking about that last night. I was like, dude, it can't be any worse than an anthrax shot.
Because they're giving this to everybody. Yeah, they only gave the anthrax shot to people in the military. Right. That was far more alarming to me than this because they're giving this to they need everybody. Yeah, they need you to get back to work and make the stuff. So and it was like rich.
Even when you had an adverse effect because one time it made my arm puff up to where I had to keep it out.
Oh yeah, and it was more like I had like a big like teacup plate sized like welt
and they would give us some ibuprofen and they push you back to work
and you'd get seriously back and they kept giving it to us too. It had like several stages.
Yeah, it was several stages of it and you just had to be there on time. You had to get it. Man,
I don't give a fuck about
the fucking military, man.
COVID vaccine. Because I mean, I'm kind of surfing around and waiting to see some more data. I may take it upon myself to get a booster shot on my own. Just go to Walgreens, but no, I never had it. Yeah, because it's gonna happen. Yeah. You're gonna. It sounds like you're gonna need it. I was reading stuff where there's already doctors who went ahead and got a booster shot.
Really?
You
Yeah.
know? They, like, just signed away, and they were like, yeah, no, give me another.
Yeah, you got to take it. I mean, shit. I mean,
the
it's
only
the
way
fucking
out
thing.
of
You know,
this.
nobody saw
And
the
if you-
pandemic, and it's like, you believe in it or not, you got to take the shot. Just take the fucking shot. Call
Who
it whatever
gives-
you know. The other
And-
idiots are starting to call it the freedom shot or the Trump shot or the
Yeah,
Trump vaccine.
my
You know,
God. It's-
whatever it takes to make you guys feel like you won. I don't give a
Do
shit.
it.
Nobody does. Just go fucking take it.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that was my
Just
problem
go
with
ahead.
this all the way out of the gate, too, is you start talking about this,
Yeah.
and people are like, it came from China. China made it in a lab, and it escaped. And I'm always like, cool.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with
What the
anything?
fuck is-
They're
okay,
like,
how-
Trump
what does
shut
that
down
change?
travel from China. I'm like, after thousands of people in this country were infected,
Yeah.
at that point, it
Yeah.
didn't do anything. It was
Yeah.
here. It doesn't care if you're a Chinese person.
Right.
Now
It's
it's,
not
in
just
a
the Chinese
person.
virus,
Right. So now
you
it's
know?
spreading amongst us. He's like, I saved many. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. We
No.
were infecting ourselves infinitely faster
Yeah.
than anyone from China
Yeah.
could have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we already had the fucking the throwback when we
Yeah.
talked about the fucking before I moved
Yeah.
out there, and that was
No.
yeah. Get the fucking vaccine. Just get the shot.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Don't be a dick.
All right. All right.
Or
We
don't
had a-
and fuck you.
yeah. Either
Sorry.
way, either get the vaccine and be safe, or you know, take your chances or die.
Yeah.
You know.
Or kill
Every day,
somebody.
every day, it's
Yeah.
somebody that has been skeptical about the vaccine, skeptical about the virus, to full on in denial, and they go from
Yeah.
this is a hoax, this is bullshit.
asking for the vaccine as they're being intubated, and I was like,
Yeah,
well, you already
yeah,
have.
yeah. Send me prayers. It goes from this
I
is a
did
hoax to
say-
send me prayers very quickly.
I did see an article with a guy. I'm not going to pull it because I don't want to give it any shine, but it's out there. You're going to Google it because it did make me chuckle. There was some guy who was like, got out of the ICU and he was like, I'd rather do that again than get vaccinated. And I was like, well, you know, fuck it.
Oh my god, bruh.
I'm upset you survived so you can
And just when you-
procreate, but
When you think about those people, think about my long-standing theory that there's a version of heaven where it's just a bunch of bookies in cubicles, and it's a devil and an angel. They're paired together, and
Yeah.
they bet on what choice do you make, what's the smartest decision, and
Yeah.
there's different laws about it. And then that's how the war is fought. Because in this version of heaven, it just became a big-ass mega casino where you
Yeah.
have God's casino and Satan's casino.
Yep.
The bookies go into this central fucking tower, and then they just bet on sins.
Yeah, and
And
they
then
start
what are you
making the
doing?
odds, yeah.
Who are you making win here?
Yeah.
You want to be smart and take the vaccine, or do you want to take your chances? You're rolling the dice, and then,
oh, you died. Hey, sorry, buddy. You were responsible for 1,000 deaths.
Exactly.
You refused to get
and then
vaccinated. You
that
got-
fucking
yeah.
bookie that made that bet that you won't take the vaccine won.
Yeah.
He gets to take a trip to fucking Satan's version of Miami.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is just Miami. There we go. Yeah. There it is.
You just get to go to Miami.
Right.
Congratulations.
You're just on a Spirit flight to Miami.
yeah.
All expenses paid. But-
Oh God! Don't ever
Yeah.
fly Spirit Airlines.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I've made that mistake
All right.
one time. Never will again. All right, sorry. Good.
Yeah. I will say that last time, knock on wood, we flew Spirit to save some money coming out here, and it was pretty decent. So
Oh shit!
that was the only fucking time.
That was a
Because the last time I flew Spirit, it was a nightmare.
That's a wicked gamble. And this isn't
Yeah.
like a commentary on, say, aircraft safety or whatever. These are
Yeah.
businesses. They're held to X standard for safety, but Spirit is held to no standard in the experience.
Yeah, the experience, the customer service.
It's like air travel is terrible.
Jesus Christ. It's
Right.
like you pay for everything on Spirit.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
almost like they're annoyed that you're on their plane. It's
Yeah,
weird.
they charge
it's like
you for
Spirit.
carry-on.
Yeah, Spirit acts like because you're a human, they act like they just want to move cargo. So when it's
Yeah.
like people, they're like, oh, fucking you sit down.
Yeah.
Sit
What
down
do
and
you
strap
want some
yourself
water
in.
for?
And,
Get
yeah,
out
and
of
they
my
were really
face.
adamant about that. Like,
Yeah.
we got a meal card coming in that serves drinks. No drinks are complimentary. You must pay for everything.
Yeah.
It's like we would much rather be shipping boxes than you fucking idiots.
It does seem that way.
Yeah.
That's where they're headed with it.
Yeah. But I like it because they don't hide shit. They don't give a fuck. They're like,
No.
I don't give a shit.
Now, if you're
I
having a
don't
bad
care.
time, there's nobody you can
Yeah.
go to with
Like,
it.
what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
they're
What
not
are you
even
gonna
gonna
do? You're gonna
try
go
to
to
make you
Twitter
feel
and
better.
fucking
Yeah.
complain about it? Yeah, I like those companies that are like, we are who we are. You're gonna tweet about us. We don't give a shit. We know. You see the memes.
Spirit doesn't give a shit.
What do you mean? As
Yeah.
long as they're not dropping out of the sky, we just lowered fares $20. There you go. Boom.
I
What are you gonna do?
guarantee it is infinitely less expensive to fly Spirit from Los Angeles to Atlanta
Yeah.
But the idea that someone would save the $75
Right.
to fly from Atlanta to Miami on Spirit or versus Delta or
Yeah,
Southwest or
like
any other
just
one.
fucking set that money
Don't.
aside.
Yeah,
don't do
don't-
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Nah.
You're going to Miami. You better have a budget that allots for a $75 complete loss.
Yeah, and see, people don't ever fucking do that. They don't ever really do it. And I get it. People just want
love to
because
just
we've got
go
people to come out to
places.
L.A.
Oh, yeah.
And it's always people that are like, I want to come out to L.A. I want to come out to L.A. You know, we could do all this. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. When you come out to L.A., you got to set aside at least 2 stacks.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
I've literally, no shit, will go outside for an hour and spend $200. And it's
Yeah.
like, I've sit back inside like, well, this is
Well,
what I wanted.
I
This
was
is what I
telling
wanted.
you earlier, I'm on the fence about traveling again at all until
Yeah.
we're sort of out from the masks on airplanes thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we should be doing it. I don't really want to participate.
Yeah,
It's part of
yeah.
why I stayed home for 14 months because I went out one time and I was like, oh, masks are bullshit. I'm just going to get Instacart. Not
Yeah.
bullshit like they don't work, but this fucking sucks and I don't wanna,
yeah.
I don't want to participate in what you guys got going.
No. Yeah, they suck.
They-
They suck big time.
And I
bro.
never got it right. I never found a mask or a combination of masks. The only thing that worked for me was wearing an N95 with a surgical, like the valve with a surgical mask over it, because
Yeah.
I kind of helped hold it down and my glasses didn't fog up.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
it. And I looked ridiculous. And I was like, the liquor store has a drive-through.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I got the fucking stylish ones.
Yeah.
I went down to Santa Monica and got some for $5. And
Nice.
then towards the end, like a couple months ago, they got this place called Shoe Palace and or Shoe Place or whatever. And they were like, well, if you buy one, you get 2 free. So
Nice.
these motherfuckers are really good.
Yeah, no, that one looks dope too.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
probably a little more comfortable.
And the
I
only
make
thing
poor
that I
mask
got,
choices too.
the only thing I got from the mask is that with me, I do suffer from the like social anxiety here and there, and it helped being
Same,
under the
yeah.
mask.
Yeah,
So,
I could see that.
yeah, and that's one of the main
Yeah.
reasons why I'm hanging on to
Nobody
it.
can
and
tell that
because-
you're making that weird, like, I don't want to be here face.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
just see your eyes. There
Yeah.
was something to that, too. I felt like the general public looked a lot more attractive when you could just see their eyes.
Of course.
I was like, it's part of why I have sort of a strange attraction to, like, Arabic women who, like, wear, like, hijab or whatever.
Yeah,
Because it's
yeah.
like, you can just see their eyes.
Because they're real good at taking that real estate and
Yeah.
fucking doing the best with it.
It's
So,
crazy,
yeah,
yeah.
it is crazy.
And it's, I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, you're on. I don't think you should have to, whatever you want to do. I was just saying,
Mm-hmm.
as it appeals to me, I'm like, actually, there's something to that.
yeah.
There's
Oh.
definitely something to that.
So yeah, I'll probably keep the mask on. Fuck it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we'll see. And I just need to get a nicer mask. But in that note, I am coming to see you, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna get a hotel and all that, and
Oh yeah, we're gonna have
gonna-
a hella fun time.
we're gonna spend a lot.
We got to
of
do a
money.
podcast on the beach. It's a very simple
Yes.
setup.
No,
because
I like.
yeah.
You did it already.
Oh,
So you
yeah.
must know it's not. It can't be that difficult.
No. We got some USB mics. We could sit there, and it was cool, man. We just got we got different beaches we can go to.
Nice.
And, I mean, it's a lot of shit out there. It's a lot of hidden speakeasies. I know you and I will love that to
Fuck
get that
yeah.
list.
Yeah.
Some of them allow cell phones. Some of them don't. I mean, it's like you go into the store, you have to ask a certain way, and then they'll show you to a place, and then you walk in. It's a speakeasy.
Dope.
LA is Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of Grand Theft Auto.
You know.
You're a huge fan of Grand
Of
Theft
course,
Auto. I've
yeah.
recognized that since we met.
Yeah.
You know, in
Yeah,
2002.
I almost
Yeah.
fought your roommate when we were
Exactly.
in tech school
Yeah.
about Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Exactly. Yeah. So and I know you're fully immersed in Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
LA is
course.
exactly like that.
It's a big reason I
It's
want to
like-
come out there.
yeah.
Because I do want to see if I could be like, actually make a right up here. That's why Griff wants to go there so bad. Because he's better than I am. When I play Grand Theft Auto, I still use the map quite a bit.
Right.
He got to the point real quick where if he's
No
in a certain part,
shit.
yeah, he can like find his way around.
Yeah.
Because he plays it sometimes with no map.
What?
Yeah, like the ultra realistic, like
Yeah.
no heads up display, no
Yeah,
weapons, none of that. You just
Holy
play it
shit.
straight up. It's fun as hell to do, but I just like I've never gotten good enough to like
Right.
know exactly where I was going. When I'd be
Right,
like, go to
right.
this place and there's no map.
Damn.
There's no map.
I think I'm gonna do that when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out because there hasn't been. I've been looking for a game to really dive into. So
That'll be it.
whenever that drops, then they're gonna do the online for it, and then yeah,
And they'll probably. I'm hoping they drop a new PlayStation VR or a compatible Oculus VR headset for
Oh
PlayStation.
shit, yeah,
Because that's what I'm waiting for.
oh yeah,
Is VR.
hell yeah.
Grand Theft Auto. I'll even control it with the controls in my hand. If you just replace the look function with my head, and I can sit
Of
in a
course,
swivel
yeah,
chair
that would be
or
dope as
stand
fuck.
up.
Yeah.
You could just stand up next to a chair in your house, and every time you got in an actual vehicle, just sit in the chair.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then get up, and then like it would change the height you were at and everything.
Hell yeah.
You're at an hour and 25 minutes.
All right.
It's going to take an hour and 25 minutes for this to be sent to you and to download.
Hell yeah. Let me fucking hell. Well, let's wrap it up. We had a great episode. We're back in the studio again.
This isn't a
Back
WAV
in the
file,
minutes.
is it?
No, I hope not.
I hope not too, but
Holy shit.
if I have to, I'll reconvert it.
Okay.
If I have to, I'll just
Goodbye
send
to
you
your
the
fucking memory.
Yeah, I
Holy
was gonna
shit.
say we're probably gonna wrap it before this
Jeez.
computer explodes.
Right, yeah. That's Graham. I'm Tony. You got the One Gram Army podcast.
Fuck
you got
yes.
Pod Caviar. We
Fuck
at
yes.
right now. You got 2 ears. We got 2 podcasts.
Fuck
They
yes.
are both the most widely available podcasts in the world and available on all major podcast platforms. We
That's
built
right.
it from the ground up. And we are back in the studio with another great episode. We did One Gram Army.
Yeah.
And then we did this one.
Yeah.
And you're going to hear all of it. So
Yeah.
when you subscribe, turn on the notifications so you'll know when we upload our videos and our episodes and everything. Go to twitch.tv/nothavingit to see me play video games or sit online and watch YouTube videos.
Ah, yes.
Go to the One Gram Army on Twitch.
That's right.
And watch Graham play videos and video games.
Yep.
That's a nice overlap.
There's a lot going on.
Listen, it's even more of an overlap when you go to shirtcaviar.com, immerse yourself in the
That's
art.
how you get all the way in.
That is the digital art gallery
Yep.
that I have set up. You got all the art pieces right there. If you want a fucking wall canvas, if you want a hoodie, if you want a shirt, if you want a sweatshirt, you can use code OGA for 10% off your order. And the OGA is for the One Gram Army podcast. More overlap. And
There we go.
as always,
That's always.
I'm saying this now so that when we blow up, people can go back and hear it. There are hidden shirts on Shirt Caviar.
That's right.
You have to know how to search form.
That's right.
They're all keywords. Sometimes I talk about it, but the only way for you to know is to follow me on Twitter at Not Having It. I will walk down memory lane. I do this often
Yep.
because I make a design. I can make 100 designs, upload them. I'll have stories, and then I have to go back and explain it because I like talking about my art in my
yeah.
thought process. So, listen, that's Graham. I'm Tony. This is Pod Caviar. We made magic today. It's an extra long episode because we went extra amazing.
Yeah.
And as always,
It's been
it is
fucking
gold.
It's been a year.
Yeah.
It's been a year and like 8 months since
Yeah.
the last time we did this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
goddamn alarm. Sorry.
So, yeah. Thank you for listening. We will see you in the next episode. Peace.
I'm gonna bless you with this as your ending track. Some
yeah.
weird shit I did with a synthesizer. You can cut that part.